Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alicia.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Jenna.
And welcome to episode 72 of Adventures and Mousecapades.
This week, we're going to talk about the extreme heat warning that the Seattle area is under for the weekend. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get into the upper 80s.
I'm going to melt.
Yeah, it's going to be the worst thing ever.
Nothing at all like Florida heat. Nope.
No. Mm-mm. It's just sad. I mean, we grew up East Coasters, and well, I mean, you were from out here, Alicia, but I'm an East Coaster. We've been to Florida in the end of August multiple times. Like, really? Like, upper 80s? We're weak.
It'll be hot. Yeah, it'll be hot for the people out here, though.
Yes,
definitely.
True.
Definitely.
We're not doing that today. What are we doing today, Alicia?
Today, we're talking with Jenna about Run Disney. We met Jenna through a Disney chat at work, and she had mentioned that she was doing a Run Disney race, and we're like, oh, we haven't talked with anybody about that, and we want to know more.
And we will probably never do a Run Disney event personally.
I don't know. Don't sell yourself short.
I have, those running stickers that people put on the car, like the 13.1 or the 20, whatever.
Yeah, I have those.
Yeah, mine says 0.0, and then under that says, I don't run.
I've seen those, and I'm like, who are these people? That's great to know.
That's me. That's me.
Well, thank you so much, Jenna, for talking with us today about Run Disney. First off, I want to ask, what is your Disney cred?
Oh, it's not long established, but it's intense. So as a kid, we got to go once. I also am from the East Coast, so I grew up Eastern Canada, near Detroit, though. We grew up on the border, so most Americans can picture Detroit. So we drove down, like all good Canadians on spring break, and we went for 3 days because we drove for 2 days. We spent 3 days. We drove back for 2 days. So more in the car than at Disney.
Yeah.
1 day each in Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and at that time, MGM. And I liked it, but my older sister wouldn't go on any rides with me. And my mom didn't want to go on any rides. So it was sort of like, oh, it looks fun. And then my mom said we'd go back when I was 16, just her and I, because she's the one who actually liked it. We were the like huggers, the Christmasites, like we liked all the fun things.
Yeah.
She ended up passing away when I was a kid. So I really wanted to take my kids someday. I was like, I'm going to go with my kids and we're going to ride everything. So when we moved out here, I took them to Disneyland. And we just super fell in love with it. Even my husband, who was also kind of a Grinch, he loved it too. So now we go a lot. We go probably more than people think is normal, but not people in this community. Everybody here gets it. So it's all good.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Run Disney. For those of us who aren't super familiar with the program, how would you describe Run Disney? What is it?
The best. No, but it's running races through Disney World and Disneyland and Disney Paris. So you can run a race. It's very fun. A lot of running races are kind of intense and people want to go fast. Disneyland's not really like that. You can if you want to, but at Disney World, you get to literally run through the parks before they open. You get to run through Epcot at night. You get to run through World Showcase. There's characters to take pictures with. Everybody cheers you on. And it's just a really like inclusive, fun running community.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That actually might get me.
I'm telling you, that's what I thought too. I was like, if anything's going to make me run a marathon, it's being in Disney World. Like I will do this. It's so much fun.
I don't know if I'm going to sign up for a marathon, but
sure. Start with a 5K.
5K.
Yeah. I know you just ran in April. Was that your first Run Disney event? And if not, or if so, do you also do other races?
Yeah, that was my first in-person Run Disney. So I did the Star Wars Rival Challenge during COVID. So that was like, just did it on your own. Mm-hmm. And then I did the Princess Half Marathon last year, also here. It's way boring running a half marathon on a trail alone, let me tell you. Although my husband did show up with a sign that said, Jenna's got the runs, and stood on the side of the trail. So, I mean, that was fun. My kids handed me bananas. Yep, it was really
right
fun.
there.
One side had like an actual encouraging statement, and then he'd flip it, and that was the other side. But that was fun. And my great colleague, also from the Disney community at work, actually went in person, and she got me the Spirit jersey and the box of food they give you at the finish line, and flew it all the way back and gave it to my kids to give me. So that was I was like, okay, I want to do it for real now. Like, this was as close as I could get, but I want to go for real. So this was my first one there. But I do other runs in the area. I like the mud and chocolate runs and the hot chocolate run. I guess things involving food.
The turkey trot.
Yeah, pretty much any of those. Yeah.
Why did you decide to do a Run Disney event over something local? Was it just reaching out and doing something different?
No, I wanted everything about the Run Disney events. So I wanted the community. I actually listened to another podcast, the Be Our Guest podcast, and the host of that is I want to say crazy runner. He runs like a half marathon every morning as his like 13 miles is just his morning run.
Okay, yeah, that's insane.
Yes. So listening to him being like, oh, I ran 13 miles today. He made it sound so like, yeah, it's no big deal. And they have a little Facebook group with all the runners, and they call themselves lizards because, in Walt Disney World, the lizards are everywhere and they're really fast. So they thought, we're everywhere and we're really fast. And they were so nice. And so I've never found a good running community because I'm really slow. So it seems like if you join a running group, they run fast. Like people who aren't good at running don't tend to join these groups. Yeah. So this was like, okay, I could do Run Disney where it's all different people and I could make friends that maybe run at my pace. And I wanted to kind of have an excuse to go to Disney World because we're on the West Coast, so we never really do that. So yeah, I wanted all of it. I wanted to see Disney World. I wanted to run through Disney World. I wanted characters, nice people. Not to be last. I've been literally last at a race before. That did not happen at Disney World.
Yeah. That's amazing. I hadn't even thought about the community side of it. That's really neat to hear.
Oh, it's huge. People are so nice. Like, okay, I don't want to jump ahead, but one of the runs that was the, what are these people called? Monsters Inc. It was Monsters Inc. run. And they planned on the Facebook group in advance for some people to be dressed as, in Monsters Inc., the yellow characters when there's code 2765. I'm not getting it right. And they get the sock. Okay. So all the runners had socks on their back. We all wore little socks. And then as you're running, people who passed you would get the sock and put it in the yellow backpacks. I mean, like, what? It's just awesome.
That's amazing.
I know. And they had the backpacks. Like, the costumes are amazing. I wanted to see the costumes. Yeah, it's a great community. Really fun.
That's so cool.
So I've heard the Run Disney races can be very difficult to register for, that they go really quickly. So what was sign up like and what did you register for?
Yes, that is very true. Sign up for the Springtime Surprise. Man, it was so long ago now. Like, what was it like? It was probably close to 2 years ago because, they make you sign up so far in advance. So it wasn't too hard, but I did log in at 7 a.m. when it opened, and I got it. And I registered for the challenge, which lets you run all 3 races. You get to run 5 kilometers and then 10 kilometers and then 10 miles. So that's what I signed up for. But I did also sign up this year for the marathon and then the half marathon in Disneyland. And I didn't want to fight with that registration system because it is real hard. So this year I signed up on a charity bib. And I can talk more about running for charities if you're interested.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love to hear about that.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so it's great. There's a number of charities that work with Run Disney, and they get a select allocation of how many spots they get. And then you just tell the charity, like, yes, I want to run with your charity, and you have to fundraise a certain amount. So I think I have to fundraise $400 per race, but it's for childhood cancer for the Scott Carter Foundation. So I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. That's great. And then they just send you a link, and they're like, okay, register whenever you feel like it. It's like, amazing.
Oh, that is way less stressful.
I know. And it's great because then you run with the team, like they'll send you a t-shirt and again, you get like that community. So that's pretty fun. And I thought so growing up, my mom's motto was whenever I get the urge to exercise, I lay down until the feeling goes away. So I do not come from a family of athletic individuals. So if I run a marathon, I'm like, you can each give me $100. Like, this is amazing. This is a miracle. So yeah, that's really great. And that's a way to, even if you don't get in, often the charities still have bibs after registration or before. So this year, I knew I was in for the marathon before it even opened. So that's a really great way to run and do it for a good cause too.
When you were in the spring, and it was the springtime surprise, so you were running with the group from the podcast then?
Sort of, yeah. I met up with them at the beginning, but you get placed into a corral. So there's just so many people that the start was at 5 a.m. That's another thing. You get to get up freakishly early. So people started running at 5 a.m. and I didn't cross the start line until after 6 a.m. 2 of the days because it takes that long. Can you imagine for humans to go past the start line? So I wasn't in the same group as any of my friends from the running group, unfortunately.
Got it.
But we still posted our pictures after. It kind of felt like I got to know them a bit. Yeah. And so that's my hope, to actually find one of them who runs at my speed in my corral someday.
That's awesome.
How many people do they let sign up for a race? That sounds gargantuan.
It is. It's massive. I think, I mean, I might be wrong, but I think the marathon, which is the biggest, the marathon weekend, I think I've heard 20,000 people.
Holy cow.
So, and just as a means for numbers, because I know this number for sure, at Springtime Surprise, they said that there were 1,300 people who were at the races who had raced every single race this season.
Oh my goodness.
So they were perfect runners. So not just been at every race weekend, but run every single race. 1,300 of these people. So how many people were at the race? If there's 1,300, wackadoos. So they're big. They're real big.
Wow.
But and Disney's really good at logistics. So they figure
absolutely. And how do they figure out which corral you're in? Is it just when you show up, you get assigned to the next corral, or how does that work?
No, that would be grand. No, it's on your bib when you pick up your bib. So there's 2 ways. You can be in an early corral that leaves first if you're fast. So you can submit a proof of time from a different race that says I will definitely be done in the first 2 hours. Then they don't want fast people and behind slow people because you'll bump everyone.
Yep.
So that's one way. But you can also just pay because it's Disney. So you can join Run Disney and get an upgraded corral placement. And I was honest, and there's a question on the registration form that asks what time you expect to finish. And I just put the last available. I was I'm very slow. So they said this lady can be at the end of the pack.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's people that walk the races too. There's I think you have to do a 16-minute mile. Otherwise you'll get picked up by the balloon ladies and swept. So there's people that could walk a 16-minute mile, no problem. So
that's how I've done my 5Ks.
Exactly. Well, and what's great about the 5K is there's no time limit for the 5K. There's no balloon ladies. So you can just walk and take all the pictures you want. And it's really nice. And so that's a great entry point if you're nervous about trying. Exactly.
I mean, we definitely walk 5Ks when we go to Disney anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And the medals are so cool. So if you like souvenirs, it's a great souvenir.
And they're probably not doing these races in the heat of August.
No, although it was really hot this weekend and very high humidity. So that was a challenge. But then they give you Gatorade, and actually it's Powerade on the course, but it was hot. It was sticky.
Can you walk us through the day, your race, or you did a couple of them, but just pick one and go for it?
So I would wake up around 3:30. The first day I woke up at 2:30 because people told me I had to be on the first bus, and then I waited 3 hours. I was like, you people are liars.
Oh, no.
So I learned my lesson. So after that, I get up at 3:30. I would do my hair and my makeup a little bit because they take photos on the course, and I wanted to try to look cute, even though I just looked like a sweaty tomato by the end, but that's all right. I tried. Then I put my outfit on, and if you're a runner, you might know that there's something called flat Jenna or flat Nathan. So before you go to bed, you lay all the clothes, the underwear, the socks, the bib, you lay it all out, take a picture. That's flat Jenna. So I would put flat Jenna on, get my clothes on, and then I would eat something that I'd bought the night before. All the hotels on property sell runner's kits with a bagel and, peanut butter and a honey stinger waffle. And so you could get those so that you were ready. And they also had the cafeterias opening at 2:30 in case you wanted to grab like a to-go or a drink or something. So that was really nice. So I'd eat, then I go wait at the bus stops. All the hotels have bus stops to the start line. Mm-hmm. You drive in the bus, people are half asleep because it's really early in the morning. Then this is the wild part. You get off the bus and you walk like a mile to the starting line. It is crazy. So you walk really, really, really far. And I've heard for the marathon, some people have had to walk 2 miles to get to the start line, which like blows my mind. But you walk far, you get to see the finish line as you walk. You walked past Spaceship Earth, which looked so beautiful at night. They had it all lit up. You go through security. And then you pass lots of photo opportunities. So they'll have the mile markers, like giant numbers you can stand beside. Yeah. And then you get to the fun, like opening place where there's Riley Pelkey, and he's the guy who has the microphone and tries to get you riled up, and he's on stage. There's photo opportunities for those people who got there really early. So for like the Monsters Inc. one, you could get a picture with Sully and you could get your photo taken. Yeah. Then eventually you make your way to your corral, which are giant. It's in the Epcot parking lot. So they're like giant spots separated by fences with big balloons that say Corral A, Corral B. They check your bib to make sure you're in the right corral, unless you're like me in Corral E, and then they don't care. They're like, anybody can be here. This is all the rejects. And there's a lot of bathrooms. So then you get in your corral and then they say 3, 2, 1, go. And they light fireworks. And then they say that 25 times if you're in Corral E because they let everyone go in waves. And I kept recording it thinking, I'm going to start running. And then nothing would happen. And then I recorded again and nothing would happen. So finally, our corral wiggled up to the front. They tell you to go, you start running, and then you run every mile or so. There's a character and they have PhotoPass photographers, and it's so, so quick because they find it to your bib. So you don't even have to scan your Magic Band or anything. You just jump in, you smile, and you keep running. And then they all populate on your phone later. It's the coolest thing. That's awesome. That is great. So you need PhotoPass, for that because it's so much fun, or Memory Maker. And then when you're done, you run through the finish line. They give you a medal and a bag. They have all the medals in individually plastic wrap bags now. Okay. And then you go to another chute where they give you a banana, and another chute where they give you a snack box and water. And then there's more entertainment and more photo opportunities and more walking back to the bus. And then you shower and then you go back to sleep if you're me. Other people rope drop. And I'm like, that's not happening.
Wow. That sounds like a very full morning.
Mm-hmm. I know. You're back at your hotel. It's like 8 a.m. Like, whoa. Look at what I accomplished. Actually, with the 10K, this is mildly embarrassing because you'll see how slow my pace was. But again, I didn't even start for ages. But anyways, one of the races, I crossed right at 7 a.m. and I was on my phone, like trying to get a lightning lane. I was like pressing and lightning laning. I was like, I gotta get it. So that was fun.
That's priorities, right? I have to finish this race, but Guardians, hello.
Exactly. I got my lightning lane for Tron that day.
There you go. Nice.
And then I slept right through it because they called my boarding group really early. And I went to the Blue Umbrella people and I was like, I did the race and I slept. And they were like, yeah. Shucks. So I missed that, but that's okay. I didn't fit in it anyways. My calves did not fit.
There's the back. There's the back one.
That's exactly where I would have gone. I was like, I'm going back. But next time.
Indeed. Now you have something to go back for.
Exactly.
What made your Run Disney experience different from other events? Kind of besides the obvious of being in the park, and you've mentioned some characters and a special medal, things like that. But what really stood out to you about Run Disney?
That's a great question. It's definitely the largest event of this kind I've ever been part of. And I've done Seattle races, so it was really big, really, really big, and very well organized. Not that that's surprising with Disney, but it was efficient, huge. So I guess that was part of it. And I've also never got to do night races like this. So they're not technically at night, but they're in the dark because they start so early. I liked that. But I suppose what stood out for me was all the obvious things like you said. Like I had never set foot in Epcot since I was 8. And I saw it first running through it, like coming through the back lot into World Showcase. And it was just so beautiful. So that was really what was striking to me. Like places I'd never been, I got to run through.
Yeah, that's like a core memory right there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Did you get to meet any special characters?
So they did have loads of special characters. Yeah, they had characters from A Bug's Life. They had, Yeah, they had a lot of neat ones. I was nervous to take photos because of the 16-minute per mile requirement. So I didn't want to wait in too many lines. But I did see Edna, and I wanted a photo with Edna because my daughter loves Edna. So I got that. And then Mickey was in his cute like 1920s newspaper outfit, and I wanted that. So I got that one. So, but it was fun just to see them, like even the ones I didn't stop at, all the Bugs Life characters, of course, lots of Pixar characters, all the Up people were there. That was fun, like Doug and Carl. Yeah. So I saw a lot of unique characters, but I only took the time for a few because I was like, don't want to get swept.
Is there music going on while you're running?
Yeah, there's music and there's sometimes video screens. So they'll kind of play scenes from the movies on loop. And so you can hear it as you approach, which is really fun. Like Frozone was yelling at me a lot at one point in the chorus, I remember, because I kind of had music and it's loud, so you can't quite distinguish what's happening from a distance. But I was like, I know that guy's voice. So yeah, they have videos and then they have so much other entertainment. I didn't even say, sure, they have characters, but they also have bands. They have a gospel choir right at the end, like at 0.2 miles from the end. And they're singing and they're all in their robes. I mean, you think it's hot and these people are standing there. I think it's a high school choir. They're in like floor-length golden robes and they're all mic'd up. That's so fun. So they're there. They have the jammers, which is like janitor. Yeah. Okay. The janitors are there. They even have one drum with just the sticks. So like, even while you're running, you can quickly like grab the sticks and bang and then keep going if you want to get a photo. So that's really fun. So there's loads of entertainment, like music, people. There's DJs in a few of the places and they're like, let's go everyone. So random. I guess that's something else that sticks out. The Encore's entertainment. I've never seen anything like that. It's very fun.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have to ask, did you have a costume?
I did.
I know a lot of people dress up.
Yeah, not as amazing as some of the ones. Like there was a couple behind me that was running as Mac, the truck from Cars.
Oh, wow.
And she was like the front, like the cab, but he had the whole thing and they had lights on themselves. So they would run together like one in front of the other and they look like a truck. I mean,
holy cow.
Yeah. And the person in my finish line photo was dressed as Buzz Lightyear in one of those inflatable costumes. I think that was the 10K. So she was running in an inflatable Buzz for 10 kilometers. I don't know how these people do it. So I wasn't that amazing, but I had a cute red Cars dress for the 5K that it was lightning on the front and it said, I am speed on the back, which was ironic. So I had my Cars outfit. And then for the 10K, this wasn't on theme at all, but I really just wanted to do it. So I had a Rapunzel like sports bra that I got from something called Crowned Athletics. They deliberately make Disney bounding athletic wear. And it had a little purple crown. So that made me happy. And my purple shoes, I coordinated my running shoes because I own so many pairs. And then for the 10 mile, I was too scared to mess it up. So I just wore my Lizard shirt, which is a bright green. And I got a matching bright green tutu. And that's what I did. I was like, 10 miles, I can't wear anything that might be uncomfortable or else I could fail.
So I think you've mentioned you have a few things signed up. After you kind of get through, you've got the half marathon coming up, you've got a marathon coming up. Do you see Run Disney events as something you'd keep going back to in the future?
Oh, Lord willing. Yes, I would really like to. I hope someday to take my girls to do like the Princess 5K maybe. We did a 5K in Seattle and I think we almost didn't survive. So it's definitely going to be hard, but I think I can make them do it if it's in Disney World. But yeah, I hope to go every year for at least one, probably by myself most of the time. I found beyond just that it was like fun, it was really good to go alone. Like as a mom, I don't go away much and I'm very afraid of leaving my children and going, and especially being like, yeah, I'm going to Disney World on spring break without my children. Like, what am I doing? But it was great. It really emphasized for me, like, that I can do things, that I'm not just mom, that I can be Jenna. Personally, I'm just also religious. And I was like, the races ended up being way harder than I thought. The heat and the humidity killed me. And so I felt like I really need to depend on the Lord to get through it as well. So it's just cool. Like it made me feel like I can do hard things and it was encouraging. So I'd like to have that feeling every year. And you cross the finish line, everyone's cheering. Your name is on your bib. So the announcers will sometimes be like, Jenna did it. Way to go. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I did. I'm amazing. So yeah, I definitely want to go back.
Nice.
That sounds like such a great experience. And if it helps, Alicia and I may do Disney trips quite frequently without the kids. And
yes,
we're
do.
unabashedly like letting them know. Like hey, we're going on a cruise and you're not coming with us. We love you.
Yeah,
but we'll see you later.
Totally love you. Yes. I did go to Disneyland by myself the one time to visit my girlfriends, and because I have two who live down there now. And then the next time I came was with the kids, and it was wildly busy. And we met up with them in the park, and her and I was like, is it bad that this is not as fun as last time? And she's like, no, it's way less fun with the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to worry about yourselves. You don't have to worry about if they're having a good time. So
yeah, and it's just a different kind of fun, right? Like with the kids, seeing it through their eyes, like I would never, not want that to happen. But then every couple trips going alone is like a nice, like, oh, right, I can just walk around, enjoy the atmosphere. I don't have to worry I'm going to lose one of them.
Right.
Great.
Who would you recommend a Run Disney event for?
I would recommend anyone who kind of wants to try running but is afraid they can't do it. That I would do Run Disney, because if you're going to do any kind of training whatsoever, running alone, getting up early, like that's pretty hard. And if I'm doing this because I get to go to Disney World, like that's a pretty amazing motivation. And then once you get there, there's so much support and so many people. You're not going to be last. Even I know people who've been swept by the balloon ladies, and they even said that was a fun experience. Like they were nice. They got on a bus with other people that had been swept. They thought they'd be embarrassed, but there was like no shame. They still give you your medals because showing up at the start line is really what requires courage. Just showing up. If you like get injured on the way, you still put in all the training you tried. So they give you your medal, which I think is awesome. And I don't think a lot of races do that. Yeah. So I would definitely recommend it for someone who's like, I don't know if I can do it, because you can do anything and you'll have the Disney magic to get you through.
That's so amazing. That's really encouraging. That's really encouraging.
And there's even something called Pacers. So you might know Jeff Galloway. He's the Olympian who is Run Disney's like spokesperson, and he encourages a run walk method. So you might only like run 5 seconds, walk for a minute, and that's kind of how you get started. And at the races, there are pacers with these giant signs with the time that they're going to finish. And so I stuck with them for a while, and they would all yell like, run, and you would jog, and then they'd say, walk, and you would walk. And these ladies just do that over and over the entire race, and they'll get you through. They're like, if you're worried, just stick with me, stay beside me. And they encourage everyone, and the whole big group moves together. So I was afraid for one of my races, and I was like, I'll just hang out with you guys, because they guarantee you that you'll finish in time and not get swept. So there's a lot of encouragement.
That's awesome.
I would also recommend Run Disney for anyone who wants to buy things, because we haven't talked about there's the expo before Run Disney.
Oh, yes.
And that's super fun. So there's a special Disney expo you go to where you pick up your bib and your shirts, but then you can buy, backpack, spirit jersey, other shirts, tights, ears, the whole thing. And then you leave that expo and go into the other people expo. So it's not the Disney merch, but it's merch from others. And that's where you can find like the sparkly tutus and the crowns and the fun socks and the sneakers. And I got a pair of like flip-flops and so much buying. So if you like merch,
all the merch,
it is so fun. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is the greatest. You actually need a virtual queue to get in the merch. Like
oh my goodness.
That's yeah. Yep. I think I did that as soon as my plane landed. I was like, I got my virtual queue.
I know they have merch like specifically for those races too,
They
correct?
do.
Yeah.
Yes. So I got the spirit jersey. I got one of the tank tops. Then I got some Run Disney specific merch. So that's not race specific. And then I bought, a little crown and a skirt and some snacks. And yeah, there's lots of fun stuff to buy. And at Princess, they even have a special Pandora section. I think this year it had an entire princess chariot, and they have special charms just for the races too. So, I mean, such unique merchandise. That part's really fun. I know, I'm selling it, right? Come on, guys.
I might have to scratch that 0.0 miles I don't run sticker off my car and
slap a 3.1 Mickey head instead. Oh, that's another thing I got. I got the 19.3 Mickey car magnet.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I know they have a Run Disney virtual series in the summer, and we've done a couple of those, and it's nice because there's no pressure at all. You do it when you can, and each one of them are 5Ks.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great way to get started. I signed up for all of them this year because they're Mickey Mouse medals. Have you seen?
Yes. There's a Steamboat Willie one, a Sorcerer's Apprentice one, and a Runaway Railway one. And
then
I think
extra if you do them all, the 100th,
Yes,
the
the
100th
100, yep.
anniversary. Yeah. And
I may
another
have
tip-
signed up for that.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I signed up for that and the Wine and Dine, which is already closed. And I can only fly to Florida so many times. But the half marathon is Encanto, and we love Encanto. So I signed up for the virtual of that, which I'm pretty sure I swore I would never run a half marathon alone on a trail again. But apparently Isabella changed my mind. I was like, I want that medal. One tip for people is if you want to sign up for races that are closed, there is a Twitter account that you can find. I don't remember the exact handle, but you can search Run Disney openings. And whenever a slot opens, they tweet instantly and then they tweet when they close. So you can, if you have nothing to do, you can follow that. And as soon as it tweets, you can jump in. And I actually did that to get into one of them as well.
Yeah, I used the same system to change our daughter's date for her Nexus card interview.
Yes.
The place up in Blaine, there's a service that will tweet when there's an opening in the schedule.
Yep.
And I was like, hop on and get it. So I guess Twitter works for some things.
Yes, definitely. Still.
Not much anymore, but some things.
Did I hear you say you're planning to do both the marathons on the coasts in January? So that hits Florida first and then California, correct? So
this was really idiotic.
So which ones are you doing? I know for the coast to coast, you have to do any 10-mile race or longer at both Walt Disney World and Disneyland. Which ones are you going to do?
I really got a bee in my bonnet about wanting to do a marathon. So when I finished my half recently, my wonderful daughter was like, so that was half? When are you going to do the real thing? And I was like, dude, it's 13 miles. But that kind of stuck with me, when am I going to do the real thing? Even though when I crossed the finish line for the halves, I've done a couple, I was like, well, I couldn't do that again. That's definitely not happening. So I don't really know how this is going to go down, but that's what I registered for, the full marathon. I really want to do it. I'm mildly afraid my heart will collapse or something, but the doctor says that shouldn't happen. So I'm hoping to do the full marathon because I asked, because I'm cool like that. So that's what I'm registered for at Disney World. And then at Disneyland, so that's January 7th, the marathon. And then I'm registered for the Disneyland half marathon, January 14th. So I didn't really think about that when I did it. But you get an extra special medal if you do that. If you just run like Springtime Surprise or Princess or any other and then fly to Disney a month later, they just give you some other medal, which is probably also awesome. But if you're like insane and fly coast to coast in 1 week, then you get a special medal. So it's totally worth it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When we're adults, we have very strange motivations. So I'm not gonna throw any kind of shade on that at all.
Well, and my dad, I think I might actually get my dad to come to the marathon and watch me, cross the finish line, which would be huge because when we went that one time when I was 8, he stayed in the hotel room. We stayed at the Polynesian, and he jokes that his favorite ride was the monorail because he would ride us to the park, wave goodbye, and just ride back to the room. So if I could actually get him to come and leave the hotel and stand in an Epcot parking lot, that would be a lifetime achievement. So I'm hoping for that.
Well, I mean, you can entice him with a sampling of drinks around the world or some snacks later on in the day. Or
nope, nothing will work. He doesn't want any of this. he's a very, I don't want to say curmudgeon. He's lovable, but he eats the same food every day. Food, drink, merch, nothing is enticing to him, but he loves me and he loves his grandbabies and he encourages me a lot. So I think that will get it. And he loves to walk. So I'm looking at renting DVC points and staying on the boardwalk because the race goes right by there. I'm like, you don't even have to leave your hotel. You could just peek out the window and be like, good for you, Jenna. So that's my hope.
Is there anything that we haven't kind of touched on that you'd love to share about Run Disney and your experience?
If you're going down and you're new-ish to running and you're from climates like ours, like the Pacific Northwest with an 80-degree heat wave warning, you should really read up about how to hydrate in warm climates, because you're going to need to take like salt tablets or something in addition. I think the first day I underestimated that, even though I know better. And I went to the Magic Kingdom after, and I was walking through Magic Kingdom, and I haven't been there since I was 8, right? I should have been really excited. And I was a big grouch, and I was like, do I even like running? Do I even like Disney? What am I doing here? And I like had this crisis of faith. And then the next day I was like, oh, I think I had heat stroke. Heat stroke causes confusion. And I was so confused. I was like, why am I here? And I just left. I didn't ride like anything. I think I rode one thing, Space Mountain. And I was like, I can't be here anymore. So yeah, make sure you don't underestimate the heat, and drink and eat your salt tablets. And that was a lesson learned the hard way with a grouchy Magic Kingdom day. So
well,
you can
here's
cut this
to
whole
knowing.
part if you want.
No. Well, here's to knowing all those pro tips and living through experience and making sure you have fun next time. So
yes. Oh, and my next 2 races, I ate that bagel in advance. That was the other thing. I didn't eat because I'm like, oh, you get the race at 5 a.m. Well, not when you're slow like me. The race starts hours later. And so I was so hungry. So the next time I knew I'm going to eat, I'm going to drink. And I had a great, great time. So
awesome.
Yes.
Very cool.
You mentioned that you're going on your very first cruise later this year. Did you know there's a 5K on their private island?
Oh, did I ever?
Are you going to do the Castaway Key?
Nope. My kids will be like, are you kidding me right now? Like, we get one day together here and you're going to go for a run? No one is running me on that. So that'll be for when I do a ladies cruise someday. And I'm sure that will happen. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I looked at a cruise that goes between the marathon and the half marathon because I thought, Jenna, you can run the marathon, then do the Castaway K challenge, then do the Disneyland, and you'll be super awesome. And I didn't even run that by my husband. I was like, this isn't happening.
Maybe someday.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Yeah, exactly. Totally reasonable.
All right. I think it's time for Alicia to stump you.
Oh, it probably won't be hard. Okay.
It's really easy. I promise. It's painless. Just some of your favorite Disney things.
Okay.
First off, your favorite Disney character. This can be Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever.
I'm going to go with Winnie the Pooh.
Solid choice.
Wicket. The Ewok was also on the list. I don't know if you know Wicket. You have to have watched the terrible 80s Ewok movies that were my favorite as a child. I'm going to stick with Winnie the Pooh.
All right. What about movie?
Newsies.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay, I'm really obscure. I love
That's
Wicket
totally
and
fine.
Newsies. Yeah, I love Newsies.
Do you have a favorite ride?
I love Rise of the Resistance because it's just incredible. But the ride that brings me the most joy, I think, is Star Tours. I just giggle the whole way. I just absolutely love Star Tours. It's so much fun.
Both solid choices.
Yes. Disney World or Disneyland?
I'm going to go Disneyland. I found Disney World so overwhelming as someone who started at Disneyland. Disneyland, I feel like I not own the place, but I'm like, oh, this is our place. Like my kids like grew up here. Like that's our hotel. Like I just feel so confident there. And at Disney World, I was constantly afraid of being eaten by an alligator.
Oh.
Or crocodile. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure it's an alligator.
A dinosaur. Look, let's just be honest.
Basically a dinosaur.
It's a modern, it's a modern dinosaur.
My hotel had me walking to the Skyliner along this beautiful riverside path, and then there was a sign every 5 feet, like, by the way, there's a dinosaur in there. And I was like, why did you build it this way then? So, yeah, that terrified me. None of that in California.
No.
True. Out of the parks you have visited, what is your favorite?
Animal Kingdom. It really surprised me. It was so cool. I'm sure that could change. That might just be like honeymoon-itis. Like that was my first time going, but that was so neat. Blew my mind. The safari blew my mind. I was like, I'm in Africa. That was great.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have a favorite hotel or resort?
The Polynesian is where I stayed as a child, and that is definitely still in my heart as so special. And then the Disneyland Hotel is where I stay with my children. And so the light up headboard has another special place in my heart. So one of those two.
Awesome. What is your favorite restaurant meal when you're at Disney?
As in lunch at place X or actual food I eat?
Yes, your interpretation.
Checkmate. Okay. I guess I love the Blue Bayou. I'm really bougie. I like the Disneyland Hotel and the Blue Bayou. But it's so great with the boats going by and it's like you're at nighttime. I guess I'll go with that.
And do you have a favorite Disney snack?
Yes, I was like, where's the snack question? Yeah. I do. I love Dole Whip and pretzels.
Nice.
Those are my favorite. Very classic. Just love them.
I still got to give a shout out to my churros. I mean, the churros in Disneyland are just top notch.
Yeah, my kids really like the churros. I like them too, but a Mickey shaped pretzel, just like.
Yep. Also a solid choice. Yep. 100%.
I like Dole Whips. Although, with regards to pretzels, the Pim's pretzel is one of the best that I have had at Avengers Campus.
Yes.
Very good.
And when I was there in October, I accidentally got like a sweet pretzel filled with cream cheese. And that was delicious. I was like, what is this deliciousness I'm eating? So that was great. Whatever that was awesome.
Nice.
Well, Jenna, thank you so much for being on. I've really kind of inspired to actually maybe give this whole Run Disney thing a try in person, maybe not just a virtual 5K that I walk.
Yes, you can do it. Walk a real 5K.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Very much fun. Thank you.
I really want to thank Jenna for coming on. That was actually a surprising conversation. Yeah. I didn't think I would be interested in ever doing this at all.
I know y'all listening cannot see us, but I can see Nathan, and he had this like, like you were very interested. I could tell.
I would say at this point, I officially have a bee in my bonnet. I am. I mean, I'm on kind of a kick. I've actually lost a ton of weight so far this year, and trying to take a lot better care of myself and making some positive changes. And I'm gonna put this one in the realm of possibility at some point in the future. I'm not gonna ever be able to go run a marathon. No. I mean, my titanium knee would literally explode, and I'd take out Minnie Mouse with some shrapnel or something like that. But I could do a half walk, half jog 5K or something. Like we'll
have to dig out the treadmill.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Or, we could go outside in the heat wave and train. It's going to be in the 80s here. Like, that's exactly what it's like in Florida, right?
We have hills, so no.
We could go up to the park. It's flat. It's like the one flat part around here.
That's true. Have at it. I'll cheer at you from the side.
Nice. Well, if you're interested, like me, in learning a little bit more about Run Disney and figuring out when their events are and how you register and all sorts of those details, just run on over to rundisney.com, and you can find out all the information there.
You're silly.
See what I did there?
I do.
Oh,
I guess we should do the spiel now, huh?
Yes, time for spiel. We have to make the lawyers happy.
Yes. We are not affiliated with Disney, and we are not travel agents. While we can offer our opinions and our suggestions, we do recommend working with a travel agent to plan your next vacation.
Or run. If we're planning a run, you may need to... No? If you have any questions or suggestions, or would like to be interviewed on our show, just like Jenna, please send an email to podcast@ourmousecapades.com.
You can follow us on socials at Our Mousecapades, and please take a moment, rate and review in your podcast app so we can help people find us.
Thanks for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.